right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Project Bring Me Life podcast. We're going to start off with just a little breathing exercise to get everybody calmed down and situated. So, close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just taking a deep breath, breathing in all that oxygen, filling your lungs with air, and then exhaling completely and fully. And while you're exhaling, just releasing all stress, releasing all worries. Taking another deep breath in, breathing in love, compassion, understanding. Breathing out, letting go of any blockages in your chakras, in your aura. Just letting all that go. Breathing in one more time, filling your air with lungs, feeling how good it feels to breathe. Now exhaling fully, releasing anything else that is holding you back. Just feeling all those disappearing. Now begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, open your eyes, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. All right. Hi, guys. I am glad that you have tuned in for our Thursday podcast. We have an awesome interview tonight with artist Tyler Epi, who is a self-taught artist who specializes in fine ink illustration, and he enjoys working with geometric patterns, mandalas, and symbols of spiritual guidance. He also offers custom tattoo and logo design work. So we are excited to have Tyler tonight, who has come with us via voice instead of video. And that's fine because that means that I get to share some of his awesome artwork with you guys on the screen. So welcome, Tyler. Thanks for joining us tonight.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Pleasure.
All right. So just in general, we like to ask our guests a little bit about who they are, what they do, and what their purpose is here. So if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be awesome.
Okay. I'll start. I was born and raised in Chicago, around the Chicagoland area. Been drawing kind of on and off my whole life, although I never really took it seriously until about the age of 21. I'm 24 now, so I've been kind of pursuing it full time for going on 4 years now. Excuse me. As we stated, I mainly focus on, drafting illustration, fine illustration. I do some small logo design, tattoo design for, commission work. But I'm thinking this year I'm going to dive into the world of acrylics and start teaching myself how to paint, get some color out there.
That sounds awesome. Can you just tell us who a few of your inspirations are as an artist, or what helped you really get into the illustration and artist world?
As far as being inspired by any particular artist, I've always been inspired by, the work of Salvador Dali and MC Escher. Those two artists have always stood out to me. Just, their kind of psychedelic surreality meets realistic situations. I've been drawing or, utilizing techniques of both artists for years now. I've, works dating back to, the age of 15. Specifically, trying to recreate certain elements that Dali and Escher had. And as far as geometry, I had not actually worked with any kind of geometric pattern until 19, 20. And the minute that I, picked up the compass and started drafting the flower boys pattern, it was on just the amount of negative space there is with geometric patterns. It stands out to me because I work with manipulating negative space, I guess, in my sense. Um, you know, that's kind of like the style of art form that I have. And so, when it goes on.
Nice, yeah. I really like that when I look at any of your pieces, especially I have a couple of them. When I look at any of the pieces, there's something new in like every corner, or even just some of the dot work that you put in. You can definitely tell that you put a lot of hours and time into what you do.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the DNA.
Yeah, the DNA strands are really cool. We're looking at the piece with the tree in the different moon phases. It's one of my favorites. It's the one I've got showing right now.
Yeah, I titled that piece Balance, and actually that's one of my favorite pieces to date that I've done. I really impressed myself with that piece, and as most artists can probably agree with me on, we are constantly beating ourselves up. I'll speak for myself. I'm never satisfied with my work, or very seldom am I satisfied with a piece. I'm always trying to dial it in and tweak it and just get it where it should be. And that piece was honestly the first piece of art that I created that upon completion I was like, I was floored. I was like, holy shit, I learned a lot during the creation of that piece. Both about myself and about different techniques in art. And yeah, that piece just, it opened up a lot of new windows mentally for me, in an artistic fashion. Like, I definitely was doing the progress shots via Instagram before that piece. But that piece really, I don't know, I connected with Instagram a lot during the making of that piece, because one of the evenings, after I had posted my last progress shot of the night, I was, laying down, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget this moment, because, every time I look at that piece of artwork, I reflect on this night's events. And I'm looking at the piece, at a progress shot on Instagram, and it's still up there. You can see the piece. And I'm looking at it, and on the left-hand side of the butterfly's wing, I noticed what resembled like the silhouette of a woman's face. And when I was illustrating that piece, I had no intention of including, half of what's in that piece. The core idea for that illustration was the tree of life growing from the seed of life, and that's where it started. But when I illustrated it, it was too small to scale on the piece of paper. And so I had all this room left on the page, and so I'm like, okay, well, where do I go from here? And so I just started, going with it. And like I said, I sat back there and I looked at my last progress shot, and I noticed, a silhouette of a woman's face. And so the next morning when I woke up, I sketched in nude images of that of a woman and man's face on, the opposing sides of the wings. And it was just like, I literally got goosebumps at how well it all pieced together. And yeah, I just went from there, and it's still one of my favorite pieces that I've done.
Awesome. Well, that actually kind of answered my next question on what one of your favorite pieces were, but do you have a second favorite or another favorite you'd like to talk about?
It's funny you ask me that. Obviously, with anything that you do, it's supposed to be growing. Well, for a good year and a half, I felt like I was just kind of stagnant. I wasn't really progressing as an artist. And definitely these last, 4 or 5 pieces that I've completed consecutively, I have just very, been satisfied with the outcome. The piece titled Balance, that was a fairly recent piece. I've completed, I did actually, upon completing Balance, I went back to that same idea of the tree growing from the seed, and that's displayed in the piece called Nature's Gift, and that's just the tree. And with that piece, if you notice, there's a man, and that's the same man, and it should be from. Stick with that.
Cut out.
I'm going about it. Yeah. There definitely some things that.
Awesome. Yeah, you cut out there towards the end, but I think we got most of what you were saying. So let's see here. What are some things that get you in the zone to create such symmetrical and just fully filled amazing pieces of work?
Definitely music. I mean, music is my number one outlet of inspiration. Aside from other forms of art, I'm constantly supporting other artists, buying art, looking at art. I revolve my life around artwork. But, my artwork wouldn't be without music. That's 100%. So I'm constantly trying to, do live concert events, live music, whatever I can get my hands on to, inspire my craft.
Do you have a favorite musician or any musicians you'd like to give a shout out to?
I mean, kind of cliche. I was definitely brought up on, 70s, 60s rock and roll, Zeppelin, the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead's music is, and has been for longer than any of their artists, the most inspiring to all areas of my life, not just art. And I'm constantly falling back on, my love for the Dead. But recently, I have a really, really wide range of musical interests. So, recently Chipper's been at the top of my list. On a number of levels. I mean, I kind of fell out of love with electronic music, like music 21, 20, because I was heavily indulged in the EDM scene from 18, 19, 20, doing, whatever electronic show I could get my hands on. But Tipper kind of reintroduced me to my love for electronic music. Just the way he incorporates that hip-hop, scribble, DJ, down-tempo, small sounds, ambient shit. I don't know. I really like what he's doing.
Yeah, he's definitely doing some awesome work.
Yeah, and he's definitely introduced. What I really love about it is what he's doing with Jonathan Singer and how he's really turning a lot of kids on to, new age artwork. A lot of these kids are seeing these images on the screens, and not all of them, but some of them are, going past just, tripping out. They're actually pursuing, these images and, really getting turned on to the art scene, and that's really important. A lot of kids go their entire lives without really appreciating artwork, and I think that's awful, So I think that the incorporation of modern visual art and popular electronic music it's pretty fucking cool, It's something that needs to be more common across the board, so.
Definitely. Well, who are some other artists or people that you aspire to work with in the future?
Well, anyone who follows me knows that I get around, so to speak, in the art scene. I try to collaborate with as many people as I can.
And that's awesome. That's what the scene's really about, is working with each other and helping each other grow.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. You know what I mean? A lot of artists, they dial in on their craft, and they get a lot of, they get a lot of respect, and I think they let it get to them, and they kind of shut themselves off from other artists, and I think it sucks, because a lot of these artists, if they, would, instead of being so closed-minded and closed off to other artists and, working with them, I mean, we could really do something global with artwork. You know what I mean? And we're getting there. I mean, a lot of the artists in the current festival scene they're killing it. You know, the art scene is at an all-time high, in my opinion. I've never seen, you know, artists being more active in the last couple of years than I've ever seen it before. You know, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally does. Everyone's really like coming out of their shell and really just doing it. I think at first everybody was kind of scared to share their art with each other or work together, and they were in like a competitive mindset. And now people are really like, they're realizing that it's a group effort, and you gotta build a group of people to go up with. You don't want to be up there by yourself because it's no fun when you're by yourself sharing the fame.
Right, absolutely. You know, and I think I want to specifically touch on the topic of Alex Gray and how he is really opening up his arms to a lot of these current visionary artists, and I think that is so important right now for kids to be seeing, because, you know, when somebody of that level of success is still humble enough and open-minded enough to not only appreciate another individual's artwork, but say, hey, come to my home and let's paint together. You know, why don't you come over and paint a room in my house? You know, and that's exactly what Alex is doing, and I think that's huge. You know, and I'm super blessed to have been privileged to go there a few times and meet with Alex, and definitely have made it a goal of mine to obviously learn to paint. And once I get that down, I really want to get into the current scene and, you know, get up there and hopefully at some point have some artwork in the chapel. So that's definitely a goal of mine.
Yeah, that's an amazing goal too. I can't wait for you to accomplish that one. I feel like anyone that accomplishes that just deserves some great honor. And I feel like you'll get there because, like you said, you've already had a chance to be there, not once, but at least twice, and that's just an awesome experience, and I'm really glad that you decided to touch on that.
Yeah, and I definitely I recommend anyone who has the option, you know, if you get a weekend off of work, drive out there. It is open to the public. It's an art gallery. If you go to cosm.org, I believe is the website, all the hours are on there, but go out there. I recommend waiting till the weather is nice because there is a whole, like, foot mud and there's all kinds of stuff outdoors that you want to experience, but go check it out, donate if you can. He's working on the Entheon building currently, which is essentially what the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors was, I believe, before they moved locations, but he's recreating it in a new epic fashion, so.
That's awesome. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick, I meant to say it in your intro, but you were actually featured in Appalachian Jamwich in 2014, correct?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny you bring that up. I think it was in 2013. The Headspace had an issue in Appalachian Jamwich, and Brett Dallas actually gave me a artist shout out in one issue that year. And then the beginning of last year, 2014, they actually featured me as Artist of the Month, so that was really cool. And yeah, just recently I have an ad going for 2015.
I just want to. Yeah, that's awesome. For your issue of Appalachian Jamwich was actually one of the first ones I was purchased by me. I had been gifted many of them, but I wasn't actually gifted one of yours, so I had to go purchase it, so it was in my collection of them.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, people were actually coming up to me.
Oh no, we cut out. Are you still there?
They were like, "Oh, it's over here." And I hate stuff like that, but it was all in good fun.
Well, that's awesome. It was definitely a good story. So shout out to Appalachian Jamwich. We're trying to get Taco and Elise scheduled to be on an interview here too soon for
absolutely.
Matt Tea Party.
I definitely want to give a shout out to Taco and Elise and the whole Appalachian family. You guys are killing it, and keep inspiring the people that you're inspiring, because you guys are doing a good thing for the scene right now.
For sure. Yeah, I love those guys. So is there any specific places or shops or anything like that we should be looking for you in this year? Or anything big?
As far as like retail or like rock vending festival?
Maybe both. Do you have any big festivals that you want to attend?
It's kind of up in the air right now. The last 2 years, I was in a different standpoint, you know, as far as the festivals go. And I was privileged to be getting into a lot of festivals as a vendor. It was great. I learned a lot being involved in the festival as a vendor, but it's definitely not where I want to be, you know, because as a vendor, you're very limited to, you know, what you can do at the festival. So this year, I'm really trying to redirect my attention on, you know, getting into festivals as an artist and not a vendor. So kind of up in the air because I obviously have not yet started painting, and it's really hard for me to do the illustrating thing in a public fashion. One, because white paper is very unforgiving.
Totally.
And you get dirty, and you get dirty, you know, so my hands are dirty, and I'm trying to draw, and it's getting the paper dirty, and it just doesn't work. But I will definitely be, you know, at as many festivals that I can physically attend this year. So I'm almost positive I'll be at the big ones, you know, Summer Camp, Electric Forest. I want to do Gratify, but I hear they move locations. Definitely Great North. That's one specific festival that if you can only go to one festival, go to Great North Festival this year. That festival's just they're on the right track. They have a lot of good artists, both musically and visual artists. Alex and Allison were there this past year, the Welsh brothers, Adam, Cy, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. Just all around a killer festival, so I would definitely recommend going to that one, and you can guarantee that I'll be there. And hopefully, small talk about me doing a poster for the event, but nothing solid set in stone, so.
Understandable. One of our viewers actually asked if, I know this might be an interesting question, they asked if you worked with Enlightened Clothing, but I believe you kind of strayed into doing your personal projects?
You said Enlightened?
Yeah, somebody was asking about Enlightened because they said they've seen work that looks like yours.
Yeah, that's kind of a sensitive subject.
Yeah.
Enlightened Clothing was a project that I had created with a couple of close friends at the time. We just, had a difference in opinion, and I guess my needs weren't being met, if you will. So I'm really no longer affiliated with them.
Totally understandable.
But, I try to keep things civil. I don't have any aggression or, hatred towards the company. I just want, my audience to know that if you want to support my artwork, support me directly. Don't go through them.
That's kind of where I wanted to point some viewers that were asking too. I just didn't know how to touch upon that myself.
I wish nothing for the best for Enlightened because it's a really awesome concept that I really had a lot to do with, and we were definitely inspiring a lot of people in the right way. But yeah, my attention will not be focused on that project at all.
Understandable. So I just want to point people in the correct direction. So if they want to purchase any of your artwork, your prints, or any of your other awesome projects, we have your personal website linked through projectbringmetolife.com, and it's tylerepi.com. That way people can just promote you and help support you.
It's tylerepiart.com.
Oh, there we go. And the link will take you right to it. So that'll help.
And I'm constantly and promoting all over Facebook, so I probably annoy my audience more often than not.
No, I actually like it because the fan pages, we don't get the updates that artists do. So I've kind of had to do the same thing with my artwork where I use my personal page to connect with people, and it gives us a more personable feel. And I like that you post on both pages so that don't miss what you're doing.
Yeah, and Facebook definitely monitors, who's seeing what, and Facebook's kind of crooked, so I definitely recommend to any individual trying to like run a business, post on both your business and your personal page. Try to keep active on both pages because sometimes I feel like certain things gain more attention on my artist page, and then certain things will gain more attention on my public page. So it's good to hit both, both parties.
Definitely, and I just want to let people know that you do a lot of awesome giveaways, and I think it's amazing that you do so many different projects, and you do maybe not giveaways, but even deals. I know you do a lot of print deals, and just you're really interactive with your fans, and you respond to what seems like everybody. So that's awesome. I know you must be busy.
That's like one of the biggest pieces of advice, beneficial piece of advice that I could give to someone, as an artist, as anyone really. I mean, you want to be responsive to the people who are supporting you, in all walks of life. And I've always been, a music groupie. I've always obsessed over artists, and wanted to get autographs and wanted to know about their life history. And I'm a nerd, you know what I mean? And one thing for me that stands out is when I'm supporting an artist constantly, even a simple just like recognition, a simple thank you, it goes a long way. Artists a lot of the time, they're getting so much support from so many different people, and they're just so cold with their supporters, and I don't understand how, anyone can think that that's beneficial in the long run, to be cold and to just brush off your supporters like that. So I'm constantly trying to connect with the people who are out there, supporting me, because I couldn't fucking do it without the people who are supporting me. So.
Totally true. Speaking of supporters, I saw that on your website you have a lot of tattoo work that people have done. How does that feel to have someone tattoo your work onto them?
Honestly, it's one of the coolest things in the world. I mean, to not only create a piece of artwork that appeals to people in that fashion, but for them to want to put it on their skin permanently, that says a lot. So, I mean, I'm so grateful to have people so supportive of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And it's killer to see people try to take on certain illustrations that I've done because, I mean, there are certain pieces that I could never recreate twice, and I know
especially with a tattoo gun.
Well, I've never honestly held a tattoo gun. I have a phobia with needles, which is why I don't actually do tattooing. But, I mean, it's a whole new realm. I mean, some of my illustrations are, there's a lot of lines that are running very close to other lines. And to recreate that with, a tattoo gun, it's very impressive.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going through your tattoo gallery, and I'm just looking at them like, whoa, that's got to be some intricate work. I've never personally used a tattoo gun either. I'm also not a fan of needles, but I know that a lot of time and patience and hard work go into them, and it has to be nerve-wracking trying to recreate one of your pieces just because they are so symmetrical and so detailed that having the chance to put that in someone's skin for forever has to be a little bit challenging.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Also, while watching your time-lapse video, we noticed that you're a lefty. Do a lot of people comment on that, or is it harder to do artwork that way? I guess I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know if it's harder to do artwork left-handed because I've always done it that way. You know what I mean? I will say that I am one of two lefties in my whole family. I don't know very many lefties, but most of the lefties I do know are very much so artistic, which I find very interesting.
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know
noticed
how.
it too.
I recently heard. I don't know how true the information was, but I was told that something like, what was it? There are only 10% of the Earth's population is left-handed, and 60% of left-handed individuals claim to be, do art habitually.
That's an amazing. Yeah, I know several other lefties, and they're all really amazing artists. So I mean, it makes sense that you would be left-handed too. I feel like your hand isn't like crossing the paper as much or something like that. I'm right-handed, unfortunately, so I deal with like
Well,
rubbing my
that's
hand
definitely
up. For,
one thing that I struggled with a lot growing up. Being left-handed was the fact that you drag your hand as a lefty across what you're writing. So smearing was always an issue. I really didn't work with ink when I would draw. I was mostly doing pencil, and that's kind of how I learned to shade. That's all I would do. I would do a lot of realism stuff and focus on shading and lighting and stuff like that. And it wasn't until like the age of 20 when I picked back up artwork. I started working with ink a little bit more, and I want to specifically mention Mark Serlo. He's an artist. He does a lot of art. Good friend of mine, huge inspiration of mine to this day. He actually contacted me personally, and he was like, "Hey man, I just I want to reach out." He's like, "I really like your artwork. I can see a lot of potential in what you're doing." At the time, I was using sketch paper, really crappy paper, and I was using mechanical pencils and just basic what is it called? The ballpoint pens.
mm-hmm.
And he suggested picking up a couple different materials. He suggested bristlepboard paper. It's like a really heavy cards. And then he suggested picking up Copic or Copic brand pens. And so literally the next day I woke up and I went out and I picked up those materials. And it was on. I mean, I mean that. I mean, that was one of the most pinnacle moments of my artistic career.
What were they? You said some sort of pens that.
Yeah, it's just a brand. It's Copic, C-O-P-I-C is the brand. They're just like micron pens.
Nice.
Really really fine tip drafting pens.
Nice.
But the combination of really fine tip drafting pens and a really heavy cardstock, I mean, there's no bleed. So you can hold your pen on the paper, tip to paper, and it doesn't start to soak in, you know what I mean? It needs just that one dot and nothing more. So you pretty much have ultimate control, okay? Because when you're working with black ink on white paper, it's very unforgiving. And one wrong line, one wrong dot, and that throws off the symmetry of your whole illustration.
Totally. Let's see here. You should ask our viewers if they have any questions.
Oh.
Okay. He's going to ask our viewers if they have any other questions for you. I was just going to ask you, do you have any favorite products maybe that you've used your artwork on, or do you want to tell us some of the different items people can get your artwork on?
As far as what I've produced?
Yeah, like I see you have a nicely packed store with all kinds of items.
They're all very beautiful.
Yeah, I'm definitely always trying to branch out and try new things, because with the art form that I currently do, you can only get so much dimension with it because it's what's the word? Monochromatic. It's single color. There's one color.
Mm-hmm.
So I like utilizing my illustrations in various projects because it gives you a completely new perspective on that same piece of artwork. So just recently, actually today, moments before our interview, I got some information from a couple other artists that I'm working with that I'm really super excited to be working with. One of which is Art Blankets Online. They do all the woven, heavyweight woven blankets. They recently just did work with Amanda Sage, Autumn Sky, Alex Gray, and a couple other artists. I can't think of it now. But I'm really excited to see how my art translates to a woven blanket. I've definitely done like large-scale fleece blankets before, but those are dye sublimated. That's the big processes. So the details almost spot on. Whereas with a woven blanket, it's legitimately woven, so your image is going to be a collection of all of those threads. So I'm really interested to see how well the detail translates. Keep a lookout for that. I should have samples in like 4 weeks, and I'll be posting, from then on. And then another project I'm really excited about, these wooden posters. I literally just found out about this project like today. So.
Yeah, I know you have. I was trying to find a picture of them. You have the little ultra pieces. I believe you have some of those that you were trying to get to new homes. And I know you have some awesome wallets too.
Yeah, those are done with Brett of That Freddy's out of California. Those are something I've been doing. Those, we did a couple runs last year, and then decided to keep going with it this year. These are the wooden posters that I just announced today. Those are with a different artist. I'm not sure where he's out of. I think he's out of New York, but I'm really excited to do these posters. The detail is just incredible. I posted a sample. I don't know if you can pull it up off my Facebook right now and share it with the viewers, but that's going to be a really cool project, so keep an eye out for that.
Awesome. Yeah, I will see if I can pull that picture up for you so we can share it with some people.
It's not a big deal. I'm not too worried about it.
We do have a few questions.
We do have a few questions here if you're interested in answering them.
This was the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had Alex who was asking what the name of the pens were again. I believe he spelled it for us once, but I think he missed it.
I'm sorry.
The name of the pens that you were suggested to use?
The pens, yeah. You can get them from copicmarker.com, COPIC marker.com. That's the brand name. They do make refillable ones. Those are the ones that I use. They're a little pricey, but if you're going to be doing a lot of drawing, it pays for itself. But they do offer disposable ones as well, and they're just about as good. The only difference is that once your tip runs out, even if you have ink left in the pen, you're kind of forced to either throw out the pen for the sake of the tip or, struggle with a busted tip. But all around, I swear by those markers. That's what I use for every single illustration that I do.
Awesome.
Excuse me.
All right. I didn't find the picture you're talking about on your Facebook, but I did pull up a picture of those wallets that I know you're trying to find homes for, and they are just awesome. The hand-pulled leather wallets. I think you have like 6 of them.
Yep. I've got 5 left now. One of them is pending. I do them in a really short run because they're pricey, both for me and for the customer, consumer rather. But they're all handmade, one-of-a-kind pieces of art. I've been carrying a wallet by the same artist, Jared Lost Design. That's what he goes by. I mean, his stuff is top-notch. You're not going to find a better leather crafter, for what you're paying. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's something I want to express to our viewers and just people that listen, that artwork like that and hand-pulled leather and stuff when it's definitely like more than one artist in it, that they should understand what they're paying for, and the money that's going into it is definitely like reasonable, because it takes a lot of time to do those things, and you put a lot of time into your designs, and they put a lot of time into what they do too.
Yeah, people, I think, it's not necessarily that people don't think that the item is worth what we're charging. People just think look at the standpoint that, there's so, like you mentioned, there's so many different hands involved in the project. I take the time to make the illustration, then the illustration is made into a stand. He takes the time to stamp the leather, it's assembled, it's dyed. And by the time it's all said and done, I mean, there's so much work, cost of materials. $100 for something like that is a steal, and I think people just need to be informed.
Totally. Yeah, and I respect people who do get it, and just like to remind people how much work goes into art and different pieces. I personally have, I think, three of your prints at least, and a pin, maybe 2, in a tapestry. And I know you like work with people when they get bundles and different things like that, and it's really just good to support other artists. It's like enlightening to have your artwork, as many as other artist artwork I have around, to like get you in that zone. So I'm really...
Yeah, totally. I mean, anyone who knows me, like, I'm constantly supporting the artists in our scene. I mean, you'll rarely will you see me wearing my own artwork. I'm always wearing somebody else's artwork, multiple different artists. I love to support the scene. It's what it's all about. And
totally.
I mean,
and you're always very colorful.
It makes me smile just thinking about the art scene right now, where we're at as a community. So I think we're on the
Totally. One of our viewers, Samantha, who's actually, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Samantha.
Happy birthday.
She asks about how long it typically takes you to complete a piece.
Well, I mean, really it depends on A, the complexity of the illustration, and B, how urgent, how, like, the completion of the illustration needs to be. I'm pretty quick, I like to think. Definitely with drafting, I mean, if I have an idea, I can get it drafted on the paper quite rapidly. Once the inking process, takes over, it's a whole other realm. I'm kind of struggling right now with the way that I hold my instrument. At a young age, I was just trained poorly on how to hold my pen. So, after a very short period of me actually inking, my hand cramps up because I squeeze my pen so hard. So if you notice in my progress steps, I always have a grip on my pen, which is me trying to, retrain my hand, so that I can, go longer with the pen. But I like to think I'm pretty fast. I don't know.
I've seen you crank out a couple through Facebook progress photos, and I like that you do that so that people do realize like that you're doing it in multiple layers. You sit down and then you take pictures and you just show people like what goes into a piece. And you do seem to put them out pretty quickly. Not only that, then you get them printed and you get really beautiful products done with them quickly too. So you have a nice sense of balance, not only in your artwork, but your business and art life.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely learned a hell of a lot over the last 3 years, both as an artist and, a business owner. I'm not or wasn't skilled by any means in sales. I've fucking never sold anything in my life, so I've always, done physical labor. So upon trying to really focus on artwork as a career, as a job, I mean, sales is more than half of becoming a successful artist. So I really was, forced to teach myself how to promote and operate myself as an artist, operate a business. So I definitely, I like to think I've got, the whole manufacturing process dialed in. Once I get the artwork, pretty rapid process upon, having the artwork finished and having merchandise in hand.
That's awesome. You definitely put some time into mastering your hustle, as I'd like to say. I see that you were trying to reach 10,000 fans. Have you reached that personal goal yet?
Yeah, I mean, I just had set a goal, kind of a spontaneous goal towards the end of last year. I was trying to break 10,000 by the first of the year. One of my many goals that I set for myself, and that's important too. You got to set goals, even if you're not always accomplishing all goals, as long as you're constantly growing and constantly progressing, you got to have something to be working towards constantly. If you don't know what you're doing, figure out what you want, write it down, figure out what you need to do to get that shit taken care of. And, yeah, I mean, that's the 10,000 like was a goal that I didn't surpass by the end of the year, but I'm, pretty close now. And I'll get there. I'm not too worried about it. Those are just likes. It's just a number on Facebook. But
I mean, it's just really impressive. You just switched over from, I believe, like the Star Steppy Designs to like your personal fan page, and to have that many likes that quickly, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I recently reestablished myself as an artist. I started Star Step Designs, more of like a pin design thing when I was like 19. So I was kind of young and not very wise at the time. And so this year, to go into 2015 with a more, professional look on my art, so I, rebirthed myself as the artwork of Tyler Eppy. And, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, people have been super supportive of my changeover, so I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of artists are going through that rebirthing process right now. I think it's part of the general awakening of the collective.
Yeah, it's definitely important. I mean, you definitely want to have a professional look as an artist, because that's the first thing that people see. I mean, I hate it, but appearance is almost everything. I mean, what people see the first time they see you, what they get out of the first encounter, that's what sticks. So you want to leave a good first impression.
Definitely. We had another fan question. They asked, do you work with any other mediums like pastels, paint, spray paint, etc.? That was asked by Ree.
I did mention earlier, I really haven't stepped outside of the black ink realm. I do work with colored pencil on occasion, Prismacolor colored pencil, but I guarantee you have my word, there will be a completed with the year of 2015. So I definitely want to really focus on it to get some color into my portfolio.
Personal suggestion, I think you should make a coloring book, because I think it would be so fun to just be in the right state of mind and color some of your pictures. And I would hate to do it to one of your actual prints.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I recently, Phil Lewis Art, he kind of like started the whole psychedelic coloring books for adults. He reached out to me and said some really kind things about what I've been accomplishing lately. So coloring book has always been one of my goals. I have just been kind of holding off and waiting until I have enough solid artwork that I can compile into a book. But I hope that once I do start pursuing that endeavor, it will be in collaboration with Soloist. That's kind of my goal. I want to release a coloring book with Soloist. So,
that'd be awesome.
so I'm not stepping on any toes, so to speak.
Understandable. Yeah, that's awesome. I think about that a lot even when I'm personally illustrating or when I'm looking at any black and white work. When I see someone who has so much detail, it's like, man, I just want to color that, and that would be so fun.
Yeah, and I would love to see my supporters, have their own kind of hand in my artwork. I'd love to see how they view my artwork. What does my artwork look through your eyes, so to speak?
Totally. Well, I think we're getting ready to come close to the end. Did you have any other questions you wanted to ask, Christopher?
I didn't really have any question, but Tyler, I just wanted to say that your artwork's very amazing, and I've been hanging out in the chat, and everybody in the chat is getting super, super inspired by everything that you're doing, and I just want to give you all the love and say keep doing what you're doing because it's very inspiring, and we love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, just to anyone, follow your heart. You know, whatever makes you happy, whatever you're passionate about, focus on that. You know, stop whatever you're doing. Stop working at Taco Bell. Stop working for the asshole that you don't want to work for. Do what makes you happy because, you know, at the end of the day, when you're, you know, 6 feet under, it doesn't matter how much money you made. It doesn't matter how many years you worked for any one organization or business, you know. What matters is how much you were smiling the entire time you were on this planet. You know, how stay happy. That's the important piece of advice I can give to my supporters. It may not be an easy route, you know. You're probably going to struggle a lot, you know, quitting your job, trying to do hair and makeup for a living. It might not work out the first 5, 6, 7 times, but don't give up, you know, because whoever's up there, whoever looks out for all of us on this planet, whether it's God, Allah, whoever you're praying to, you know, they want all of us, each one of us, to be happy. And if you're doing the right things to pursue self-happiness and self-love, then, you know, everything's going to fall into place for you. And I'm almost 100% sure on that.
That's beautiful. Real quick, I was scanning through the chat and I saw someone say, "Oh my gosh, holy artgasm." It made me giggle.
I've been seeing that. I like that, artgasm.
I like that term. That's a good term. We had one more question from our viewers. They said, have you ever considered working or collaborating with producers on album art?
Apple?
Album art? Like helping people with their CD artwork?
You're breaking up. I'm not sure. I can't understand what you're saying.
One of the viewers was asking if you've ever collaborated or worked on any album art or thought about it. Like a...
album artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where my love for art started. I've always wanted to do album art for a living. I haven't actually made any one particular illustration for an artist. I was at the beginning or middle of last year supposed to do an album cover for 12th Planet, but I got super busy and just that project kind of fell under the rug. It may still be an opportunity that's available to me, but I haven't really pursued it again. But definitely, I mean, I would love to get my artwork out there, you know, as an album cover or any kind of music-related project.
Totally. Well, that's beautiful, and I really liked your message to the fans, and I just enjoyed this entire interview. It's been totally awesome just being able to chat with you and get your full story. So I just want to really thank you for coming on and let everyone know they can get your artwork. It was at tylerepiart.com. Is that correct?
Yep, Tyler Epi. And if you know, you'll still be redirected to my current webpage if you happen to have an older business card that has a Star Step page. You'll be automatically redirected. So, but yeah, it is Tyler Epi Art, and that's the same on Etsy as well, Tyler Epi Art.
Awesome. Yeah, Etsy's been an interesting platform to use. But that's awesome. And anyone else, we also have a small bio on his fan page through Project Bring Me to Life. And I'm just excited to watch your constant updates on your amazing line work. So just thanks for letting us ask some questions. And we hope you tune in for some more episodes that are coming up. So.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Honestly, this is definitely my first spoken phone interview. So kind of stoked. You know, I was definitely honored to be a part of what you have going on. So.
Beautiful. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you hop off here, and we'll connect later. And we're gonna finish up this podcast. So you have an amazing evening.
You as well. Everyone listening, have a blessed night, and thanks for the continued support.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler.
Awesome. Have a good night.
Later.
Well, that was fun.
That was nice.
So, that was really just fun to go through his photos. I had a couple times that it kind of tweaked out on me, so my Facebook was up on the screen. But I enjoyed that interview a lot, and I hope you guys check out some of his artwork.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool that we get to share his artwork live while we're doing this. So, just like this, thank you. So his artwork was gorgeous. Like most of his art that we saw today, I have never seen before. So it was absolutely gorgeous. So
Did we have Nick that wanted to join tonight?
I think so. I sent him a question. I said, Nick, question. And I'm waiting for him to reply. So,
all right. Well, while we're waiting on Nick, can I go ahead and do us a card?
yes. Let me see. I might have a picture for you.
Thanks. If you still have that.
Bam.
Boom. Awesome. So just to give you guys a daily card, I wanted to pull one. Since I already did a 3-card spread earlier in the week, I did a 1-card pull from the Angel Therapy deck. So this Thursday, January 15th of 2015, the 1-card pull was Archangel Michael. So from what Michael has to say is he's here to protect us and work with us through this time. So if there's a situation that's currently bothering you or coming up, just remember that we're nearing a new moon and things from previous cycle is just coming to a close, and some people or situations may not be happy with that because you're the one who's moving forward. Everyone is on their own pace, but sometimes certain people don't like letting go of connections or control of their situation, and we're all working on letting go. So there are reasons these things are happening, and it's just generally to help each and every one of us grow to our most divine potential. And that's what Archangel Michael is really good at helping us with. Michael's name means he who is like God, and he's the archangel who is the powerful overseer of divineness, and he just wants the will for peace on earth, and he knows what our divine purpose is. He knows what each person's divine life purpose is because he has a special connection with God. So just be sure to call upon him for the guidance into your walk of spirituality, and especially if you're working to make it a meaningful career. He's a good protector and an angel who shields you from fearful energies, and he keeps you and your loved ones safe. So if you're feeling vulnerable or just in a scary situation, call upon Michael and he will help protect you. By drawing this card, it also is a validation that something we've already known or suspected is coming or coming to a close. Archangel Michael is here with us to protect us from that. He's a large, powerful, non-denominational angel who watches over our guardian angels and other earthly guides. So Michael is the angel who also takes away fear, like I said. He provides protection with his shield and his sword, and he also provides us with courage in our times of need, especially if we need to take immediate action towards something to put us in a more positive state. So if you're considering on making life changes, ask Archangel Michael for guidance and help in moving forward more fearlessly and at a more fast pace. A good action step to connect with Archangel Michael is to meditate and envision the most protective being you can. And whatever being you see, this is your representation of Michael. It may look like someone you know, or it may look like some divine being that you would never imagine to see. But this is kind of like the safest way to envision your Archangel Michael protector, because they can take the form of whatever comforts you most. And he'll be there with his sword and his shield to protect you with whatever vision you see him as, and his energy will just generally vibrate through you. A good affirmation to connect with him for courage is just to meditate, like I said, and call out, Archangel Michael, I call upon you now, so please lend me your sword and shield of peace, and allow me to lean upon your strength and courage. Help me know and feel that I am safe and protected, emotionally, physically, and financially, as well as energetically and spiritually. So we thank you, and so it is, and he is there to protect you. So this has just been an Archangel Therapy read for you today, and I just hope you all embrace Archangel Michael into your life, because he is amazing for protection. And that was the card I had for this Thursday podcast.
Awesome.
I know you love Archangel Michael, and that made me happy that he appeared today.
I do. I have a very good relationship with the angel known as Michael, and yeah, he's always there inside my heart center. And anytime I have questions, he's usually the one to speak with me. I guess his communication's coming clearer to me than any other angel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and that's here from Nick. But did you want to mention anything about your card deck that you're creating?
Just generally, I'm creating my own personal card deck. I made that as a goal to myself last year, going into this year. I'm kind of determined to have it as close to finished as possible. At the end of 2015, I've got, I think, 4 cards in progress already. I got the idea for them. The meaning has been channeled through me. I put some real thought and time into what just figures, beings, and different energies I wanted to represent. The messages. It's not even a message from me, because that's not how the cards work. The cards are a message from the divine. They're channeled through just the law of attraction and what messages the person being read needs to hear. And it's a really important task for me, because I feel like it's something that's been calling out to me a lot to do with my work. So I'm excited about it, and I just can't wait to get more of them out to share with you. But another project that I'm helping with in the more near future, or not helping with, but running completely, is my Paint the States project, which I still need a lot of states. I believe I need like New Mexico and Nevada, Rhode Island, Idaho, and several others out in like the northwest. So if you know anybody in those states that may want a painting, a free painting, or to donate, or any of those things, I just need addresses. And I've had mixed reviews on that project, and it's been an exciting adventure. I do have a few paintings that are still on deck. I haven't forgot you guys who have supported it. They are coming, and I'm so excited for you to get them. So those are 2 projects I'm working on personally.
Yeah.
For Fantastic Shine.
Yeah. Maybe somebody in Idaho can trade you some potatoes.
Dude, we've been on a potato kick. I love me some potatoes, guys.
Yes. Absolutely loves potatoes.
You do too. You don't complain.
I do. No, I don't. Love potatoes, sweet potatoes. I love them. Yeah, I'm excited about the Paint the Saints thing. That seems like a very worthy cause.
Definitely.
And aspiration and goal and dream to have. So
I'm pretty excited about it. I was just skimming through the chat to see all those awesome chats that are going on. Everyone's screaming potatoes now. Thanks, guys. But yeah, I just want to give a couple more shout-outs. I know we gave some shout-outs earlier, but it is one of our main viewers' birthdays, so happy birthday, Samantha! We hope it's awesome. And it's also Cord Blaze Sentient's birthday as well, who we interviewed sometime middle of last year.
Happy birthday, Cord!
Yeah, so happy birthday to both of you. And
let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Samantha and Sean. Cord.
Happy birthday to you. That was beautiful. Alright, so do we have a Nick tonight?
No, not tonight. Yeah, I think we're about ready to wrap this up and let everybody go for the night. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in again, and we appreciate everybody in that chat screaming potatoes.
Yes, I'm gonna put up some potato recipes for everybody now because I love them.
In the forum, we're gonna have a recipe section.
Oh, that's a good thing. Don't forget our forums, guys. Check out the forums. They're slowly building. We're gonna start sharing them in more places and get more people, and hopefully some awesome topics really start brewing on there. So If you have any awesome recipes, I'd love to hear them, especially if they involve potatoes, apparently.
We humans love cooking and eating.
Yeah, so healthy recipes and just healthy living. We're working on a healthy living, and more just awesome stuff is coming. So
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna go ahead and conclude it since we can't get a hold of fellow co-host Nick Monicky tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not tomorrow, but on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday on the 20th at 6 p.m. we have a card reading. It is the New Moon card reading, and that will be by Miss Shantastic and Selena. So tune in at 6 p.m. for that. At 8 p.m. we will be hosting, as I like to call it, Merkaba Lightbody Activator, Nicholas Bryce from Detroit, and he'll be on to talk about the meditations that he does to activate your Merkaba, and also a few projects that he's working on in Detroit.
That's exciting. I love Nick Bryce, and I think that's going to be an awesome podcast.
Nice. Yes, it will be. All right.
All right, so you guys have an amazing Thursday evening. This has been another special and very awesome Thursday podcast.
Yeah.
So have
Namaste.
a good night.
Sorry, I tried.